What's the big question on everybody's mind going into Avatar 2, honestly? Are people really wondering, is this going to be the next big box office of all time? Or are people wondering, what's the story like? Obviously, I believe it's a healthy mixture of both. To what degree? Who knows? But I think both are equally like inciting incident-based kind of concepts. This is my non-spoiler review, and I'll do the best I can because I think I can talk about it vague. I mean, it's 3 hours of content. Strap your seats, people. It's 3 hours of content. I made sure to pee before I got into that theater. Thank goodness, because I'd have been screwed if I hadn't. Had to pee as soon as I got out too. I can't imagine for the weaker bladder people. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough ride right there. I am into math and nature and art as it exists. And if you know what phi means, there is an incident around phi, but it's not. It's got some foreshadowing and stuff like that. You know, the Avatar 2 is visually stunning. It really is. There are a couple wonky scenes, I'd say, that got out of control. Maybe some fights here or there between blue people that is just like, it looks a little rubbery. In relation to how fantastic everything looks. There are some weaknesses where they clearly couldn't spend the money by comparison, which is fine. I'm sure this movie cost umpteen $1 billion to make. Who knows? I'm gonna say at least like 250 probably, $250 million. That seems likely. Anyways, I do wonder how this passes at PG-13. There is a lot of blood and violence and all that. I need to double check that, to be honest, because I don't know if it is. It should be. James Cameron is a smart businessman, and our movies don't make all the time, because there are some that do, but they statistically don't make as much as PG-13 movies. It's just a fact. The music was great. I would love to look and see. I didn't notice who the score was. James Horner maybe, or it was no Hans Zimmer. I can tell you that because there's no like oh my god, none of that happened. They had some really neat looking technology. They made some advancements in the technology between Avatar 1 and 2, which, no spoilers on that. You know, it'll be a fun, enjoying thing to discover when you get to the movie. I believe that there's an actress in here that I just saw at the credit line, and I didn't know it was her, if it really was her. And I'm just like, man, you really put a lot of makeup on that particular actress's face if it is that particular character. And I had no idea, none the wiser whatsoever. So, if you all can figure that one out, I'll talk about it in my spoiler video. The storyline, it beats along relatively steadily. I wouldn't say that there were like major surprises. I think that there was a couple moments of fourth wall breaking, where even like the script calls for like, man, this thing happened again. That is just a shame. And it's like, well, when you got 3 hours and you need certain plot points to play out, maybe you have to repeat certain activities. And the worst case scenario, make a joke about it. That way you're putting everybody at ease in the sense of like, we know it happened again, but we got to work with it, okay? We got to make the story move along. So just disbelieve yourselves, dang it. You know, don't think too much about that. The mythology of the creatures in this movie is beyond reason. Like, I think James Cameron probably has an understanding of sea creatures and all that stuff that is just well established, given that he did Titanic and he did The Abyss and he did deep water sea stuff just to figure out Titanic stuff. He's been around this subsection of the world, and there's a very clear message to the overall movie. It's called The Way of Water. Couple theories on that long term. The Way of Water is one step, because the Na'vi, if they're anything like some of the other mythologies that we see nowadays, there's more than water. There's fire, there's water, there's air, there's hard or whatever, you know, Captain Planet, all that stuff. So maybe that's where all these additional movies are going to come from, because this Way of Water was a step in the direction of like Native American in water cultures. Ooh, my hair. I would like to point out that I don't know if this is spoiler or not. If everybody complains that this is just a story about Pocahontas, then you really need to understand what that really means and not just say, oh, it's about Pocahontas. Okay, are we the British or are we the Indians? I say we're both, unfortunately. I think it's both and, not either or. We are both the technologically advanced civilization that is wrecking shop on the Native Americans, and we're the Native Americans. We need to be in tune with our world so we can figure out how it works. I shouldn't go too crazy on that. That's a whole diatribe by itself, but that's what the movie is literally telling us. It's been 6 minutes. I don't know how non-spoilery I can continue to talk anyways. Most people probably stop listening, if anybody does to begin with. Avatar 2 is great. What score would I give it out of 10? I don't know. 7, 8 range, but mostly because of visuals and stuff like that. The story was fun. The acting was good. Sigourney Weaver had multiple roles, I believe. At minimum, she was a voice actor in addition to her, physical representation that existed in the movie. But Zoe Saldana smashes. That's Jake Sully's wife, whose name I couldn't pronounce if I tried, I'm sure right now. But she carries so much emotional weight. She smashes. She is just feral, but in a good way, if that makes sense. I mean, Avatar creatures are like these kind of cat-like creatures. Don't forget that. So they utilize that whole like, they're cats. I shall stop talking. So we're gonna say like 7, 8 out of 10. Good visuals, decent storyline, good music. Amazing mythology. I think that's officially like the gold standard when it comes to like good movie making and good storytelling lately. You need a good universe to support, cast of characters, people that we get to care about, stuff like that. So they did a really good job with all that. It will probably win at least an Oscar at this year's awards, but it'll probably be for like visual effects or something. It'll probably get up to like 3 to 5 nominations. I'm gonna lean towards the 3 and less away from the 5. But I mean, James Cameron might get a nomination. He's freaking James Cameron. It's like saying Daniel Day-Lewis was in a movie and he didn't get an acting nomination. James Cameron's in that category of conversation. Scorsese sort of is, but he still doesn't bang him out of the park. He's only got 1 Oscars for his amazing movies, but he gets a lot of nominations, I believe. James Cameron, I think, wins and gets nominated, so he's got some shots. Who knows? I mean, we're talking about sci-fi versus whatever genres actually get nominated for. So, anyways, 8 minutes now. Yeah, I'm going to stop talking. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, like, if any of those things really matter. Have a great day. Bye. Oh, don't have a good day. Have a great one. Spoiler time is coming up next.